You're listening to the Slow Ride Podcast. Bikes, advice, and rumors straight from the source. TheSlowRidePodcast.com and on Twitter at TheSlowRidePod. Enjoy the ride.
Hello and welcome to episode 264 of the Slow Ride Podcast. This is Tim in Orlando, Florida.
This is Matt in Minneapolis.
This is Spencer in Boston. Tim, Orlando, Florida. What's going on there?
I'm still in the cone of uncertainty. Everything is fine here. I believe that we will persevere much better than the folks, unfortunately, in the Bahamas, where the hurricane decided to make a pit stop like a little guy cross race, slow wheel change.
Yeah.
So very sad.
So
Wow, what an interesting way to throw shade at me.
So Orlando's got a little bit of a rest day today, much like the Vuelta.
Yes.
Is that kind of correct? Okay.
This is the best segues we've ever had. Yeah, so everything is fine right now in Florida. It looks like the hurricane's to the east. I am ready to go. I have been watching the Vuelta nonstop. I know you were up at Mount St. Anne.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my bikes are still in St. Pete. I haven't figured out how to pick them up yet. This is the downside of my plan because with the wind being so fast, there are definitely some KOMs for the taking on Strava
Yes.
that I have been unable to capture.
What a huge missed opportunity, Tim.
I know. But there's so much to discuss. I have a lot to talk about. We've got a couple of listener emails, and then also some reviews that we need to discuss that were brought my way. So Spencer,
Yeah.
you took the Slow Ride Podcast Roadshow on the road to another country. This is the first time the Slow Ride Podcast has been in another country for on-the-scene reporting.
Yeah. Official business.
You were in Quebec, Mount St. Anne for the UCI Mountain Bike World Championships.
Yes.
My first question to you is, how awesome were the E-Mountain Bike World Championships?
Well, I didn't make it out to those, Tim. I know you were going to be disappointed. I know you were counting on me for this reporting. There are probably going to be many, many digital column inches written on other major cycling news sites about this motorcycle race that happened at Mount St. Anne over the weekend. But yeah, a jersey was given out, and I guess in the biggest news, probably Julian Epsilon didn't win it. So that's all I really know.
Juliet Epsilon did not win, but I did see PFP won in the women's cross-country race.
That is true.
I did see Nino Schurter won, but I have to admit, Spencer, my favorite part of all of it was seeing my friends' Twitter feeds of the downhill and watching the videos of how fast these monsters are going down the side of a mountain for the downhill world championships.
It's obscene. It's obscene to see it up close and personal. And even more so, I think echoing your experience at the Fort William track when you were there, some of the stuff that they ride it doesn't make sense. Like it's not possible to ride over, and then they go over at speeds that are just mind-boggling. So
this is now the third world championships you've been to, because you've gone to Cyclocross World Championships.
Yep.
You have seen the Road World Championships. How would you rate the Mountain Bike World Championships versus those?
Well, Tim, I would also say I've been to the Bicycle Messenger World Championships as well.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to make sure you weren't going to claim the Track World Championships, because I have that one up on you from 2005 in Los Angeles. But how would you rank we'll throw in the Messenger World Championships, which I've also been to. So how would you rank the mountain bike setup and all of that? Crowd, everything?
So if it depends on the scale or the lens through which you're looking at these, because I had the most fun maybe this weekend, like spectating wise, because you can bounce around the course.
Yeah, I guess
you can. You guys weren't there, bugging me, slowing me down. No, it was beautiful weather. It was a gorgeous venue, like overlooking the river and the island there off of Quebec City, and just spectacular. The whole show was great. Maybe it's a recency bias. I don't know. Cyclocross.
Is there a lot of people? To tell us about
they were quoting 50,000 people. I would be shocked if it was that low. There were.
Did you have to pay to get
people. No.
Wow. So it was free to get in.
That's nice.
Okay. So 50,000 people. Was there poutine on the ground?
There was poutine everywhere. We were just swimming in it. You couldn't turn around without getting hit with more poutine. It was, you had to pack a couple of changes of clothes.
Did any Canadian do well in the race for them to be like? Did Ryder Hesjedal all of a sudden show up in the downhill track and be like, "Hey, I'm here"?
No, they had a Canadian on the hot seat there until the last few runs. I think he got bumped down to 6th off the top of my head, maybe 7th. Did all right, not bad.
So who won the men's and women's downhill? I didn't even watch it.
Oh, well, I don't want to spoil it for you, but it was French domination. Let's just put it this way. France, I've been talking for years on this podcast about French cyclocross and how it's coming back, and apparently I was wrong. It's not coming back. French cyclocross is dead, but French mountain biking, here to stay. They are dominating in all areas off-road, except for cyclocross.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe this is the year.
Yeah. So
Luca Broni?
Luc Broni handily won the men's race. It was very epic. Great run. Just shocking. Just shockingly fast. Very, very good.
And who won the women's side?
Miriam Nicole took the win for France. It was just a great race. It was very good. That one in particular was a nail biter to the end. But I think, probably the person that our listeners are most familiar with on the mountain bike weekend, Pauline Ferrand-Prévot.
Really?
Dominating in the women's cross country race. Being that she's a former world champion in cyclocross and on the road, I think as well as now a repeat on the mountain bike, I think she's probably most familiar to most people.
Definitely
that are
a Slow Ride Podcast Hall of Famer. But here's the bigger question, Spencer. Like Nino Schurter, like that's not the one that people you think are going to be like the most. Granted, Matthew Vanderpool.
Nah. We got a bunch of roadies listening to this show, Tim. We can talk about Nino every week, and it doesn't matter. We got a bunch of roadies here, and that's okay. They're welcome here. PFP, dominating performance. I would just like to point out, I called it last weekend. She was my pick for the win. You guys, both a couple of scoffs over there. Both a couple of like, oh, really? I don't think so. So, just going to take this moment in the limelight. Me and Pauline stepping up on that top step, raising our arms in the air, and giving you guys the bird.
Okay, let me ask a more important question for our listeners. I'll keep this show rolling because I don't want you to bask in your glory too much. But Spencer, when you are there, let's talk about downhill day. How do you get to the top of the mountain? Where do you go watch this race? Do you just start at the bottom and you just start climbing up by foot? Do you take the gondola up top? What do you do?
Those would be your two options. Yeah. So you could do either one of those things. You could take the gondola up, check out the scene up there, watch people warming up, and then make your way down. Or you can start at the bottom and
so they warm up. They warm up before they go. Everyone gets like one run down?
No, there's practice windows.
Okay. So where do you decide to go? Do you just do you just go to where the guy is with the chainsaw making all the noise? Or the old frame with the stick?
It's probably a good bet. Yeah. We started at the bottom and walked our way most of the way up and then back down as the races were winding down. They do a pretty good job on the course map of kind of calling out the different segments, the ones that are particularly fun to watch. So,
and do you know how people are doing during the race? Like, is there standings?
Nope, no idea.
Okay, so it's kind of like watching the Tour de France. You're just kind of out there on the side of the road, and then every now and then someone comes screaming past you really fast.
Now, if you were watching down at the bottom, they do have the television feed up on the giant screen, and you can see the results and all that. but you only get to see the last 2 jumps or whatever. So if you go further up, you get to see the really awesome stuff, but you have no idea how people are doing.
Okay. Curious. All right. I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
So overall, would you recommend us going to Mount St. Anne?
100%. It was super cool.
All right.
Little guy,
you got any questions on this Mount St. Anne experience?
I know little guy's got a question. I've got the answer for him already. Yes, little guy, there was a vegan hot dog stand.
Oh,
and they
nice.
were delicious.
That was not. I guess that's a good question. Yeah, that'll work.
It was all in French, so it was a little surprising that I was able to pick out that that's all they served was vegan hot dogs. They were one trick pony kind of tent, and it was awesome.
Oh, really? Just vegan hot dogs?
Yeah,
that's cool.
So,
I have a side note on that. In that, when I was biking today, I saw a woman crossing the street from a Walgreens, and she had a T-shirt on that just said "non-vegan."
All right.
Said non-vegan?
Just said non-vegan, and I said, "Really, non-vegan?" And she went, "Yeah."
All right. So can I get a better, bigger, more important question rather than talking about your guys' dietary needs? And of course, that has to come to, this question comes from either friend of the podcast, Brandon Gavick, or Ryan Fisher. I forgot which one. Both were checking in to see how the hurricane prep was coming. Mm-hmm. And one of them raised up the fact that what is up with men's cross-country U.S. racing? So basically, why does the U.S. suck so much at men's cross-country? Like, whatever happened? Like, we're crushing on the women's side, right? We've had a women's world champion with Kate Courtney. We have some really great results over time. What is up with the U.S. men being so horrible, and why do they not even exist on that side of the spectrum? Do you guys have any ideas here? Because the top place was 49th place, Luke Vrodenwelder. I don't even know who that is, and I apologize for the name mispronunciation. Sorry, Keegan Swenson, 57th.
I don't have an answer for you.
Spencer,
maybe
any ideas?
Give all these high school leagues a couple years and they'll stop producing some champions.
But the high school leagues are already producing because that's where Kate Courtney came from, right? Was the NICA out in California?
Yeah, but like a couple more years and the whole country will catch up and you'll have more to choose from.
Spencer, why does the U.S. suck so much at men's cross-country mountain biking?
Probably because we don't have enough UCI points to get good start spots, because there's not enough big UCI races here. And we're focusing more on stuff like the Epic Rides series and stuff like that, which are actually paying people livable salaries and things like that. So that's where the focus has been, maybe. Okay, I don't know. That's just off the top of my head.
Besides that rational answer, we should just then therefore blame Epic Rides for not being UCI certified to get the
Let's
UCI
blame
start
gravel
points.
racing.
Gravel racing? Okay. Well,
yeah.
There you go, Gavick or Fisher. I don't know who asked, but Spencer pretty much nailed it on the head. It's because of start spots, clearly. So pretty cool stuff up there in Mount St. Anne. Spencer, I am absolutely jealous that you got to go. It seemed fun. I loved watching some of your pictures, and then also, like I said earlier, some of the Instagram videos. I cannot believe the amount of speed that these racers are coming down the downhill, and then the fans that were lining the track at 1 to 2 deep, like your 50,000 person estimates seem totally.
It was probably 10 deep, Tim.
But where these people were, like in the speed traps, I saw one in particular, Results Boy put up a photo, and these people were like 1 or 2 deep on like the base of the turn. Like if that person's tires did not catch when they were taking the left down the ski slope, someone was going to get hit. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, it reminded me of like rally racing, like when you watch like old Rally B videos and people just on the side of like a turn, and you're just like, wow, you are in the wrong area.
Yeah. I mean, the downhill was exciting, and I know that you're more amped on that than, I don't know, either of us. But I gotta say, the cross-country races were super, super exciting, and walking around that course was enlightening about what a World Cup level cross-country course is, because I went straight away to La Beatrice, the very famous kind of downhill rock garden that Mount St. Anne is known for. And I watched them go down that, and I was like, this is absolutely bananas. Like, this is not cross-country at all. This is maybe enduro, like big enduro kind of light downhill. Like, like this is buck wild. And I was like, well, at least it's just that section. But then I walked around the rest of the course. And that might not be the worst section on the course. It's just the one you can see the easiest because it's not behind tree cover. That course is brutal, start to finish. It is, if you are not climbing an insanely pitched climb, you are just crashing over terrible rock gardens constantly. And I don't know what cross-country racers are doing at the World Cup level. I am used to our trails here in America, mostly, run over with the Dirt Zamboni and nice flowing, fast, twisty trails. And this was not that.
But sometimes when you watch those UCI mountain bike races, though, Spencer, like in the other countries, there's definitely the Dirt Zamboni that comes through. Maybe this is maybe this is just the legacy of Mount St. Anne as being what is the longest running course on the World Cup scene right now, right? Like, I mean, that race has been around a while. Like, is it an old school style course versus what's new?
I don't think so. I think the level is just extremely high. Like, it is, like, I cannot believe that people are doing that on 100 mil hardtail bikes. Like, it's the level of the athletes, the amount of control they have, the skill level is just phenomenal. It's so crazy.
Spencer, you were there on the ground. Let's get to your expert opinion on this. Would Matthew Van Der Poel be the mountain bike world champion if he had shown up?
Tim, you're going to put me in the spot, huh?
Hell yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot. Why else are people listening to this podcast? They're listening for the expert that is Spencer.
We have not discussed this prior to this very moment, and I just want to say I did have an answer prepared because I figured you were going to put me on the spot.
Okay, what's your answer?
Yes, he would have won.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. He would have won this race. I cannot believe he was not there. He should have been there. He could have won this race.
How much does he regret not being there? It's got to be a lot.
I would hope it's a lot. He probably doesn't care because he's going to win it 12 times, like, going forward. But
he's going to win World Worlds, so come on.
Yeah, he's like, let Nino win an 8th one. Like, make it a somewhat of a challenge for me to get more wins than him. Like, I don't know. I don't know what his theory is, but he could have won this and gone back and won Euros and won Worlds and whatever else on the road. Like, it wouldn't matter. He's built for this.
I 100% forgot that he wasn't there, and when I pulled up the results, because I didn't watch it, but I pulled up the results and I was like, how did Van Der Poel not win? It took me a couple seconds to remember that I totally knew he wasn't going to be there. My first thought was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I was I enjoyed watching. The only race I watched was the men's because I had a little bit of difficulty locating it because I forgot that NBC Sports has like the rights to all the UCI World Championships. So like you get great coverage on Red Bull, and then all of a sudden you get stuck with kind of the NBC-eyed version of it. Mm-hmm. Like I guess when you're on the app, there wasn't the all the commercials, but it was definitely a little frustrating.
See, this was interesting. I didn't know that this was going to be the case, and we were on the side of the course watching the Red Bull coverage on our phones, trying to keep up with what was going on. Yeah, Canada was not geo-restricted, only the U.S. So NBC took that over, and
they had a different. They didn't have what's his name, the normal announcer that just is like blown away every time Matthew Van Der Poel does something.
They did. Well, they didn't have Rob and Bart
Warner
from Red Bull because they work for Red Bull, not for NBC. So,
well, they had the color commentator that's normally on there. He was fine. He crossed over, but yeah, they didn't have Rob Warner. What was crazy though, watching the race, Spencer, 2 things stuck out to me. The first is Avicini's national champion kit versus like the Brazil national team kit. Like there's a nuance there that's very important. When Avicini is wearing his like trade team kit that is the national champion kit, looks really good. You're like, oh, that's a sharp looking jersey. He's the Brazilian national champion. But when he's wearing the Brazilian national team kit, it's like, get that thing off my screen. It is the ugliest kit in the history of cycling. I cannot look at this thing anymore. Oh, it was so bad. Like it was disgusting. That was one.
Okay. Yeah.
The second
important. I have a lot of opinions on national team kits now that I've been there all weekend, but let's move on.
The second one is Gerhard Kirschbaumer, the Italian that I always think is German.
Yeah.
He was going to get on the podium and then he had like the flat. I was so bummed for him. He was looking really good. And then like with like what a kilometer left, he had the flat tire for Tempier to beat him. That was kind of bummy. I was kind of bummed. Anyway, that was it. Those are my comments.
Those are great takeaways.
You're welcome.
No, big weekend, great weekend. Going to be a World Cup. Obviously going forward, don't miss it. It's incredible. It's super cool. It won't be as crazy as the World Championships, which will actually be nice because it'll be a little easier to move around for you. I would put that if I were out there. If you have any interest in mountain bike, put that on your calendar
to go to snowshoe.
Or put snowshoe on for next weekend if you got to, if you got to get out of the state because there's a hurricane coming or something.
Oh, I would love to be up in snowshoe. I think that looks awesome. But anyway, so Spencer, thanks for being on the ground. We are going to jump into the pre-lap here because when we get back, we have a ton of Vuelta conversation to have. And we also have a couple of listener emails. So pretty stoked on that. So with that, let's get into the pre-lap.
My name is Matthew Vanderpool, and I don't listen to the Slow Ride podcast.
All right. Once again, we are brought to you by the listeners and supporters of the Wide Angle Podium Network. Head on over to wideanglepodium.com to find out more. Mitch Docker is doing his weekly recaps of the Vuelta. Check it out on Life in the Peloton podcast. We also have some great pods coming up from Bike Shop CX and our friends at Cyclocross Radio as Cyclocross season has started. So make sure you check those out as well. Great stuff on the network, wideanglepodium.com. And with that, guys, I got my buckler embrocation box in the mail, so I thought it would only be natural that I opened it up here in front of you guys.
Oh, okay. I love a good unboxing.
So I've got my trusty knife because buckler embrocation made chamois cream for us, and it's called Miracle WAP. Now, I got a nice box. No one can see this, but it's hand stamped. It looks like he went with the shredded paper packaging.
It's nice, reusable.
And here it is, our very own Miracle WAP. The tingle is the miracle. And guys, this is fantastic. You can go to bucklerembrocation.com and get this high viscosity chamois cream. You definitely want to check it out. It's fantastic. So Buckler Embrocation or bucklerskincare.com to find out more.
It looks great, Tim. I'm a little annoyed you've got some and I don't, since I actually rode my bike this weekend and you don't even have bikes there. But
my bikes are still in St. Petersburg, but I tell you, when I get them back, I am going to be totally, guys, this stuff is so good.
If you need to go outside maybe to tighten something down on the outside of the house during that hurricane, you could probably cover yourself in that WAP and just feel a nice little tingle rather than the 50-mile-an-hour winds blowing against you.
Yeah, it's a little menthol. It'd be good. I like that idea, Spencer, or little guy, sorry. And Spencer, you've got the final sponsor of the Preem-Lap this week.
Oh yeah. I didn't get the buckler bump, unfortunately, which I'm sad about because the Miracle WAP is it is so good. It looks like a very fine chamois product that you can buy to support Wide Angle Podium Network. And we pushed management here, the upper echelon management at WAP to include a banana scent to that chamois cream, just as a throwback to old school listeners of the Slow Ride podcast. But they weren't having it; they wouldn't budge on it. So maybe on round 2, I guess. But anyway, we are also brought to you today by Grimpeur Bros Coffee. They make 2 specific blends that support the Wide Angle Podium Network. So if you purchase those blends of coffee, your funds will come and support the shows that you listen to on the network. These include the Full Schleck, a light roast blend that is just it's my favorite. Much like Andy and Frank Schleck, I just can't get enough. I need it in my life every morning. And we also have an espresso blend called Hello Cyclocross Friends that is Also, just fantastic. I have made it in my espresso machine. I've made it in my French press and my regular coffee maker. It is delicious in all facets of the coffee world because Grimpeur knows what they're doing. So if you like the darker roast, you like the lighter roast, we got you covered. wideanglepodium.com/coffee will get you where you need to go for those beans.
Well, thanks for our 2 sponsors. That's fantastic. Guys, let's get back to the show. A couple emails, a couple reviews, and Vuelta talk.
Hi, I'm Hugh Carthy from Education First Pro Cycling, and I don't listen to the Slow Ride podcast.
All right, guys, we got some reviews we have to hit. New reviews. 3 stars. Respect our ski jumper.
3 stars.
Why call Jumbo Visma Yellow Lotto when they aren't even sponsored by Lotto anymore? Also, it's Groenenwagen, not Grossenwagen. Show some respect to cycling's new powerhouse team. Thoroughly disgusted, DG.
Is that a joke one?
It sounds like a joke one because,
kind of hits a little hard.
the 3 stars is fine. I'm not mad about that.
Yeah.
The Yellow Lotto, I mean, if you don't get that joke, I don't know what to tell you. But what I take umbrage with, serious umbrage with, in this negative review is the fact that he called Yellow Lotto a juggernaut of a team.
No,
a powerhouse.
Well, we don't know who, whoever it is left the thing and said new powerhouse team. We've been on the Yellow Lotto train. I'm pretty, little guy has been preaching about guessing for, 4 years now?
At least, if not longer.
I mean, we were into the Yellow Lotto team when they were Rabobank, when they really had their doping regimen down.
Well, sure. But also,
come on.
If you want to talk about powerhouse teams, I don't know if Yellow Lotto is really what comes to the top. We talk a lot about Kreiswick here. We talk a lot about Kelderman. We've got a lot of love for a certain ski jumper. But come on. Powerhouse?
I guess to me it's...
Powerhouse?
The 3 stars I'm fine, but don't...
You put Dumoulin on the team and you really think you're a powerhouse all of a sudden? I don't know.
Are they really dissing our love of Yellow Lotto? I feel like if we were going to rank all the teams collectively, actually, we should probably do this sometime on the pod where we all just do a blind test to see which ones average out as our highest ranked teams. I'm willing to bet Yellow Lotto among the 3 of us is in the top 2 teams.
Oh, yeah.
Top 2?
Like collectively, if we were going to average out how we would rank the Pro Tour teams 1 through 19, I know that I would have Movistar 1 and you guys would probably have Movistar near the bottom, but we would collectively have Yellow Lotto near the top.
I'd have Movistar this year pretty high. If we do this next year, when all their GC guys leave, I'll probably rank them at the bottom.
Little guy, hang on. Wait a second. Mm-hmm. They're going to be better next year than they are this year. You know that, right?
Why? They'll just have Valverde.
Yeah.
That's why they'll be better. No, but they'll also have Marc Soler. Are they going to have Soler?
Soler, yeah, we'll have Soler, who's not going to stay after the next year because he's already mad. He's so mad.
We're only talking about 1 year.
Mad about that stage win he got.
They got Valverde for 2 more years. This will be all right. I mean,
I want to believe that he's ageless. He's basically the Paul Rudd of bike racing, but at some point it's going to catch up to him.
So right now, let's just go into it. Did you guys see the Nairo Quintana announcement? 3-year deal with the French team with Arkea Samsic. Spencer, you saw the video, right?
I did.
Little guy, did you see the video?
I did.
Beautiful.
Tell me that wasn't the most continental team announcement video of all time. That was...
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
So let's set it up for our listeners. But basically, random bike messenger, maybe fan guy comes out with his flat bar road bike in a team
drop bars. Yeah.
Drop bar. Okay, support team kit, kind of loose fitting, kind of aero dress esque. Riding around town, got a text message that said, "Come to these coordinates for a big announcement." He finally gets there, cuts through town, dodges traffic, gets there, and then it's like Times Square kind of announcement on a video board of Nairo just going, it's me, and then with the thumbs up.
Yeah, it says Colombia, then he gives a big thumbs up, and you're like, all right.
You're like, oh, okay. Like, like what town was this video shot in? Like, there's so many things that I need to figure out here.
Quiet
and
town.
Nairo's got the 3-year deal. They announced it on the first rest day of the Vuelta, which is hilarious.
It's been known forever.
The timing was perfect.
I mean, yeah, he's in the jersey. I mean, it's not a much better time to announce than, hey, by the way, we're getting this guy who's currently leading the Grand Tour.
So is Arkea Samsic going to be guaranteed like Grand Tour stage wins now at the Vuelta and the Tour for sure in the next 2 years?
Like starts? Well, they're always going to get in the Tour because they're French and they got Barguil. But
they'll get in the Vuelta, I'm assuming now.
I would think so.
Because they have arguably one of the 4 greatest Grand Tour riders.
Arguably.
You know? Arguably. Look at Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's putting a little extra pressure on the wildcard teams in the Vuelta right now. But so far, Confidus has won a stage, and they're, it's hard to think of them as a little wildcard team when they spend more money than some of the big teams.
Well,
and then also BH or whatever, they already won a stage. So those guys seem like they're
in the Mountains jersey.
They punched their card to come back.
Are you saying the curse of the super rookie is striking Caja Rural?
I am saying that. I'm saying what Caja Rural needs is one of us in the team card. Maybe help out a little bit with the DS decisions, and maybe they get themselves that stage win. Get them back next year.
I like where your thought process is, but I am a little... I'm excited for Nairo to go to this new team. We'll talk about this a little bit more, but let's get back to...
We'll talk about it all winter.
Let's get back to the 1-star review we've got.
Oh, okay.
Nothing here of interest.
All right.
Nothing here of interest. 1-star review. Empty talk and race results. Utterly boring. Sweden. Okay. This person's in Sweden.
Oh.
Utterly boring. Okay.
Why don't they listen to something in Swedish then?
Yeah. Sorry.
So
empty talk. All right.
Sorry. Give me that review again one more time. Hit me with the base of it.
Empty talk and race results. Utterly boring.
I'll give them empty talk. But race results? Do we really have that on here?
A little bit. We sprinkle it in. I just threw some down.
All right. We'll have to work on that.
While throwing shade at Tim at Caja Rural. So it's
all right. Well, okay, guys.
So I'm going to, speaking of throwing shade, I'm going to have to throw this all on our good friend Mitch Docker on the Life in the Peloton podcast, because he keeps opening up his show saying the Solar Art podcast is his favorite podcast about cycling. And I got to assume that has brought some new listeners over. And
they're disappointed.
It pains me to think that this could be somebody's first episode of the Slow Ride podcast that they're listening to right now. Somebody every week.
Let me stop you there. It pains me to think that this is what Mitch Docker is listening to right now on the team bus before he goes out onto stage 12 of the Vuelta and has to crush it, because we're still waiting for his top 20 finish so I can cash in on my roller derby points. Because remember, he called his shot saying he's got a top 20 in him. But
he did. The DS is probably saying something really important about tactics right now, and he's got the earbuds in, so he's not hearing it. But I got to think the influx of new listeners that are looking for real cycling content are coming from him. And sorry to disappoint you guys. Keep on leaving the reviews. We definitely appreciate the feedback. Whatever you want to say is fine. We're going to read it on the podcast.
It's true.
Hey, guys. Charlie Anderson here. Just bought my plane tickets to Madison. Ooh. When and where are the group rides happening? Stoked for you to come along to the Trek World Cup up in Madison, Charlie. We're excited to have you there. As far as the group rides, they will be on Friday night at the start line at the Lakeside Cross Race. Little guy will be there in the front row. Make sure you cheer for him. Little guy, what is your costume of choice for the...
I have to wear a costume for that? I don't know what's going on.
Well,
I know nothing.
Staging is based on costume.
Oh, really? I have no idea. I'll have to work on that. I'll get back to you next week.
All right, we'll get some ideas. I'm already brainstorming some ideas for you. But Charlie, we're excited to see everybody out there in Madison in a couple weeks' time. Yeah, another one here from Scott. Hey, guys, my wife and I need your help. And as with all crucially important life decisions, we turn to the experts to help us through hard times. We've been locked in an argument since May, And I'm sure as you've gathered, this is about our fantasy cycling team names and who picked a better one at the Giro. So we look to you to adjudicate and tell us who sung it best. Entry 1, Nibali Shark, doot 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 doot. So that would be a take on Baby Shark. Yeah, we've talked about that. So that was entry 1. Or 2.
Solid. It's solid.
Entry 2, Marcel, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. Want me? So Spencer, if you could just fix that in post, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, just tune that.
The never gonna give you up Rick roll there. So we appreciate your help in saving our marriage and look forward to find which one of you stuck in our head right now. All the best, Scott and Erica. So Spencer, your choice. Which one is the better team name? The Rick roll, never gonna give you up, or the Baby Shark based on Nibali?
He should have worked in some sort of Antonio Nibali reference into the Baby Shark one, I think. So I am leaning to the Rick roll as my vote here for this predicament.
Well, as a father of the podcast, I will say Nibali Shark.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Nibali Shark.
Well, that settles it. Rick roll definitely takes the cake then, and thanks for the submission.
2 dad votes beats 1 non-dad vote. I think that's how it works. 2 dads.
Yeah.
Good day. That's Kiwi for hello, Slow Ride Podcast. It's Murray. Just wanted to give you a quick note. In New Zealand, all Americans are basically Chuck, Hank, or Amy. Not so much Steve or whatever. Australians to us are Wave or Cheryl. And occasionally Blue. There you go. So you're wondering. So in America, you're either a Chuck or a Hank or an Amy. So there you go from Chuck, New Zealand.
Chuck
Murray,
and Hank, those are solid. That's a solid burn. But ironically, I think it's a little outdated. I think ironically, maybe it's Matt and Tim that are more
it's
accurate
Matt
right now.
All right. Guys, we have finally arrived. The meat and potatoes of the podcast. We need to talk a little bit about the Vuelta. I have watched almost every stage so far. I'm hoping to be able to watch tomorrow before the power cuts out. On Sunday, fantastic stuff. There's a lot of things I want to get off my chest. I am angry. Little guy, I called you angry. You called me angry. We were playing back and forth on this hurricane. And I said, what did I say to you, little guy? I said, if I can't make the podcast, what do you need to say for me?
Tim, you're upset that the English-speaking press is making a whole lot of guff about Movistar's infighting. You don't believe it. You believe that they're a finely oiled machine. Except for the fact that there's an article on Cycling News right now about Soler apologizing.
Of course he's apologizing because he was wrong.
Because his contract runs for a while and he wants starts in big races.
Wow, little guy, you're going to go down this slippery slope of just being an English-speaking media fan. Let me tell you what's up. Soler, I understand why he was angry, but the team made the right call. Soler, you got to come back. You got to work for Nairo. Here's the thing, though. That commentary about the way Valverde was relentlessly attacking Roglic and Miguel Angel Lopez after Nairo was up the road was exactly what I want to see from a teammate. He was putting him under pressure. I like that. This is what we need to see. Like there is no infighting here. Lando was the problem. Nairo, Valverde, best buds. They're going to end up on the podium together in Madrid. And there's nothing wrong here. It's bike racing at the end of the day. And they're attacking. Soler, I understand why he's a little disappointed. He may have won at the stage. Probably not. But, it happened.
I don't disagree that I think you're right. I think.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you again. The clickbait articles between these two. The clickbait articles about this is the end of Movistar and how horrible it's disgusting. Okay, I'm going to stop now. You can talk.
I think I agree. They're playing into it a lot. I think it's one of the few solid clickbait narratives there is right now in cycling journalism. Right. So they're gonna roll with it. You are a person who claims this should be a 2-week race. I think there's a lot of people. Editors at cycling websites and stuff included who think maybe it's a little late in the year and you got to jazz it up. You got to spice it up. You can't just come with the racing, which is crazy because this first chunk of the Vuelta has been really good racing. a lot of different teams winning. It's been exciting. So they should just be able to lead with that. But I think post tour, it's a little hard. You got to put a little drama in there.
Okay, Spencer, what's your take? Are you as rational as little guy here? Am I a little over? Like, is this the wrong thing for me to pick on as the lead of our Vuelta coverage? Is the infighting of Movistar that doesn't exist?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely heavy-handed. I don't think you're necessarily barking up a tree that doesn't exist there, Tim. I think you're correct, but yeah, I think you maybe have a soft spot for Movistar that gets rubbed the wrong way when these type of articles come out. So, yeah, I don't believe the hype, but
so who's the team leader of Movistar right now?
Oh, the team leader is Nairo.
Nairo, man.
Yeah, but Valverde has won the Vuelta before.
10 years ago. I mean, let's yeah.
So my favorite thing right now is Valverde was 20 years old when Pogačar was born. Did you like so the Matthew Keenan was like he could be his dad. Like literally like it's possibly. And then Pogačar takes the win the other day over after Nairo towed him all the way to the line. That was pretty cool to see. I like this guy. I don't think he'll be beyond it. I don't think he'll get into the top 4 overall, but it was pretty cool to see. I'm loving the Vuelta right now. This has been a fantastic race. Yeah. What are your guys' takeaways? I mean, where are you guys at on this?
No, I think it's been great. You've had a lot of different winners. That top 4. I mean, that's the race right there. Quintana, Roglic, Lopez, Valverde. I think that's your race. But, you got some wild cards in Pogačar, or Carr, whatever his name is, in 5th. And whoever the hell Carr Frederick Hagen is in 6th place. That's somehow, a person I completely do not know anything about. Sneaking into
but I know
10.
you were excited, little guy. Like, you're burying the lead here. You were so stoked when Wilco Kelderman was in that break the other day, and you're like,
I'm
virtual
glad.
leader on the road.
Yeah, and I mean, I know he's climbing up. He's 9th right now. He's, again, I think we're spoiled in Grand Tours lately. Kelderman's 3 minutes 53 seconds back. A couple years ago, we'd be like tricking ourselves that he was going to get himself on the podium or could win it. And now we're 20 seconds between the top 4. We're totally spoiled again with another great Grand Tour.
I've been really enjoying watching. One of the saddest parts of the watching, and I think this has to do with just that, as we've gotten to know Mitch over the years and listened to his podcast, is the destruction that was the Education First team in the first week.
Yeah,
I can't go without. I mean, two guys on one stage with broken collarbones, Uran and Hugh Carthy.
2 guys who were flying in the mountains a couple days before. So especially, I mean, it sucks for anybody, but it's like those were their main 2 guys at that moment, so.
Yeah. And then to see that they were trying stuff in the first week too, right? Like, I mean, when we have a GIF on our Slow Ride Twitter account of Mitch Docker just drilling it at the front of the mountains to like kind of put the hurt down. I think I was like on stage 5 or stage 3, maybe. Pretty cool things to see. I was definitely bummed out, but it'd be nice to see like what a team can do now as you start to learn after the crashing to see where they can salvage the victories and the wins. Other cool things.
It's a bummer, but it does increase the likelihood of Mitch popping off a couple top 20s.
Yes, for sure.
He's starting to run out of people that he has to work for.
I am also all about this Burgos BH team purple kit. I know we were talking a little bit about it, and I think it has to do with Madroza being in the King of the Mountains lead, and that he is he's a spectacled racer, right? Like all of his photos, he wears like glasses, which means a lot to me and you, little guy. I know Spencer, you're a little like whatever guys, but it's not very often that we get 4-eyed.
Yeah, that's
winners.
True. That's true. It is not often. There's only one great spectacled cyclist, and we all know who that is.
Yes. You got to cast our minds back. Let's see, who could little guy be talking about?
30 years ago.
Does he have a ponytail?
I'm trying to remember the guy who won. There's a guy who won Milan San Remo some eagle-eared listener will know, who like won from the break at some point in the 80s, and he looks like an accountant. And I wish I could remember what year it is, but this guy, I don't know if he really won anything else, just like gotten one of those breaks that's totally doomed, won it, and there's the shots of him winning, and he looks as surprised as anyone, and he looks like an accountant, stole a team jersey and snuck out there for the win. He's the greatest spectacled cyclist of all time. So
now there is a good news here, is that there's a time trial that still exists that's long in the Vuelta, but it's the day after the rest day. So people still aren't like, for me, the hurricane's coming, so I'm not going to have power, so I don't have to watch the time trial, because all of the good time trial stuff happened in the team time trial that Spencer walked us through last week. So, we'll be okay. Knowing what you know now, though, guys, knowing that there is that time trial tomorrow, who is going to be wearing the red jersey on the final day in Madrid?
Spencer,
I want to hear what Matt has to say, actually, because I've got my answer and I'm not sure he's going to like it.
Oh man, I think Roglic is going to take it, but I think we're going to have I think Valverde's going to crack. I think Pogacar is going to actually sneak his way up to the podium, and I don't know who's going to. Maybe Quintana will fill out the rest of it, but it's a long way. It's hard to.
It is. Yeah.
It's as hard.
I don't know what happened over the past week, but over the past week of the Vuelta for sure, but even from July until now, I don't know what's happened, because Nairo has turned into a different kind of rider, and he looks like the kind of guy that can and will win a Grand Tour. I don't know how he's going to pull this off.
Grand Tour. He's won them a couple times.
This year, he has not ridden like a guy who wants to win a Grand Tour, Tim, recently. You absolutely no denying that. He's been pretty crappy. But he's got the spark back right now, and he wants to...
Because he's not the king of Colombia anymore, right? Like, he needs to restake his claim.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe the pressure's off. I don't know what it is, but he's got this youthful sort of exuberance around him, and I don't know how he's going to get around this time trial situation, but he will somehow. He'll take more time out in the mountains. He'll do these crazy attacks that he likes to do. Like, he's been really fun to watch lately, and him and Valverde tag teaming, working together to work over the rest of the crowd up there, has been fantastic to see. I don't think it's infighting. I do agree with Tim on that. I think this is a masterclass. I think they're playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers.
Oh, it's so good. I love hearing you say that, Spencer. I will say that there's a couple things that I also want to point out, because I like to kind of just pick up on things that look good, or kind of different things that catch my eye. We obviously talked about the Caja Rural team kit earlier, and our quest to be in the team car. They're doing okay, but I do want to point out that the Miguel Angel Lopez white jersey that he's wearing, maybe my favorite leader's jersey look. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but the way that the sponsor logos mesh onto the white jersey, overall, it's a very cool looking kit. Take a look at it when you see him out there, maybe not in the time trial, but just the whole setup. I've been very impressed with kind of that look that Angel Lopez is running with that Best Young Riders jersey. And what's crazy is that Best Young Riders competition is Pogacar is only 1.5 back. So
yeah,
it's a sub jersey competition, but 2 of the top 5 riders are guys that are under 23 years old, one of which is 20. It's insane to think about the future of cycling. And then you still have old man Colombia, Nairo Quintana, who's only 29?
Yeah, or 47. No one's really sure.
Yeah, but we sit here and we make those comments, right? It's because you're wow, he must be old, 29 years old.
That's crazy.
That's insane that he's 29 forever. And we're already going he's been around forever. Exactly. Yeah. Look, I'm 100% with you. And it's just he was racing at the, he joined Movistar in 2012.
Yeah.
So 7 years. He was 22, but he started racing when he was 19.
Doesn't it feel like, I feel like when we first got into cycling, the sort of consensus in the press would always be a GC guy, right? About 27 to 32. They'd always talk about, oh, they're coming into their best years for GC, and this is when they got to really shine. And they talk about, like guys like Bassa, like when he's like 25, like, he's a guy for the future. And now it's like, man, guys are just coming out swinging. I don't know what that exactly means, but it definitely is a lot more younger guys. So, I mean, it happened in the past, obviously. Bignon, Merckx, and those dudes came out swinging, but
Let's have a little fun with this, little guy. So Nairo now has been signed for 3 years to Arkea Samsic, right?
Oh, he's entering his prime.
Yeah, 3 years.
GC
entering
years.
his prime. Lining up for them next year on the tour, what they could have is they could have Grimpeur, so they'll have old Square Jaw, former hill climb champion, to take a sprint top 20.
It's almost as bad as the ski jump.
They still have Barguil under contract.
Yep.
They're going to have winner Anaconda. They're going to have winner Anaconda, who's Nairo's right-hand man right now at Movistar. Maxime Bouet.
Yep.
I mean, they've actually got a pretty... oh, sorry, I forgot. Dyer Quintana also got signed to Arkea.
Yeah, of course he did.
And, and Diego Rosa.
Diego Rosa. Thank you, Spencer.
Oh, really?
Ineos.
And Connor Swift.
Yeah,
British national champion.
They're putting together a nice team.
This team is stacked. Will Nairo Quintana be the first pro continental team winner of the tour?
Oh, since the whole split in team divisions, I hadn't even thought about that.
I mean, this is a amazing team they're starting to put together that for a pro continental team, for like a GC threat, like usually it's, going after stages or sprint wins. This is, with Barguil and Nairo. Who's the team leader? Is it Nairo or is it Barguil?
The funny thing is it's almost like Quintana's taken a little bit out of the Landa playbook here because I don't know. Because I don't expect Barguil to play nice. I don't expect him. Quintana's better any day of the week, but can Barguil accept that and work for him? I don't think so. Can they play off each other? Possibly. Will that be by mistake? Most likely. Not because Barguil's actually trying. But Barguil does do a lot of attacks that come to nothing, which in a context of Quintana being his teammate, we could see is setting him up.
Yeah.
But like if you changed his kit this year Quintana was on the same team as him, you could have seen some of those Barguil attacks where he got off the front, but he didn't really... You could tell he didn't quite have the speed to move away.
Yeah.
You could see those as setup attacks, like nice springboard attacks.
So
I think you're onto something, little guy, and I think maybe this isn't so much Arkea pulling the strings. I don't think this is tactical, savvy DS move getting these guys together. I think this is Nairo Quintana's experience at Movistar shining through. This is him knowing exactly what he's getting into and being like, oh, I'm not going to be a Landa. I'm going to use this situation to my advantage because I know how to deal with having 4 of these guys on my team, and now I'm only going to have 1.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
So here's the best part.
Like,
he must have done his research. He must have done his research because Barguil's in a contract year next year. Nairo and Dyer Quintana are the only ones signed for the next 3 years. So it's clearly Nairo's team moving forward. Barguil, contract year. I don't know. It's going to be fantastic to watch.
And there was talk a while ago about Barguil going back to Sunweb, and at this point, Sunweb's kind of in the market for some GC guys. So maybe he'll head back to his former home.
Yeah, well, we'll see. So, guys, the Vuelta, only 2 weeks left. A little long.
No,
but it's going to be fantastic to watch.
It's been so good. We've had a lot of good winners. We had some good breaks. Come on, Cofidis, Nicholas Edith or whatever, getting the jersey. That was pretty nice for them.
That's cool for the day.
He could hang on for a high placing for that. I don't know, man. It's been a good race. It's been a great race. I got a fact I got to get out there before you change the subject, Tim. The guy I was thinking of who won Milan Sanremo with the great nerdy glasses was Mark Gomez. He won it in 1982 when he was that was his first year pro. He rode from 82 to 89, and he won some things, Volta stages, other things, but nothing like Milan Sanremo in his first year as a pro. He's pretty cool looking. Just Google search Mark M-A-R-K Gomez and enjoy the picture.
I'll have to do that. I've never heard of him.
I'll make sure to do that. I do want to just change the subject completely and give a shout out to, we were talking a little bit about Education First kind of having a little bit of a downer first week and a half of the Vuelta. Sepp van Mark did take a win over Thies Benoot at the Breton Classic in France. And then also the German tour, Jasper Stuyven takes the win for Trek Segafredo. So there was some racing. Yeah. There's some of your empty results. Didn't watch much of the racing itself. Hey, Spencer.
Wait, I have another thing. Tim, I got to say something real quick. If you do a Mark Gomez image search, make sure you put Milan San Remo. Otherwise, you're just going to end up on this this teenager. He's maybe like 13. This kid is all over the internet. Maybe you want to start following this guy on social media. He seems to be on all of the sites. Pretty cool kid. Anyway.
No, I'm definitely seeing him. I like the spectacle. This Mark Gomez winning Milan San Remo. Great pictures, little guy. Thank you all the way around. Spencer, our man on the ground. You have had a busy week going up to Quebec, going all over. What, or is there anything else in the world of cycling that captured your imagination over the week besides 50,000 screaming people at a mountain bike race?
I mean, should there have been? I feel like that captured most of my attention. Yeah.
So like,
I don't know if you're leading me out here for something.
I'm not leading you out. I was just, just wondering if anything else was, pretty cool up there. Did you get to ride? Was there anything super exciting?
No, just some world championships, I guess. Just some boring old, greatest cyclists in the world right now, just doing their thing at the top, highest level, all in peak form. Nothing cool.
Can I tell you something that was cool, Tim? Unless you're leading to something. You can go.
No, I'm not leading to anything. I'm trying to see if you guys have anything else to add before I close the show.
I think little guy does.
Oh, okay. So I went a little bike camping this weekend, and I took a little page off of a recent Mitch Docker interview where he interviewed was it Michael Freeberg or whatever?
Yeah.
And he had all the crazy
extra long cranks.
Yeah, well, I didn't do that, but because I took a little inspiration and I did a couple intervals because I had the panniers and then I had the trailer with Tom Boonen and a bunch of stuff in it. And especially one time yesterday, I had Tom Boonen in the trailer, and then we went and got firewood. So I had 60 plus pounds, if not more, in there, and I did a couple hill intervals, and oh my god. You guys know I don't train like I used to. That was really, 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 really hard. So
training with the Burley is the new future?
Oh my God. So in the way, if people go back and listen to this Mitch interview, it's great. He's talking about all these weird ways to train. So you can go out and smash your huge watts, like on the local bike path and not get in people's way. Totally true. I've got the Burley, and everyone else with me is just riding along chatting, and I am 100% over the limit, going as hard as I can, about to puke my guts out, and everybody else is like, do. It's great training.
So handicapping yourself, basically.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was great. It was good. It was probably the hardest training I did in years. So it was really good for me. I needed it. I gotta show up at Trek or whatever.
Well, you'll be ready for Schwamigan 2020 if we head out there for that. I know folks in Wisconsin are gearing up for their own showdowns.
You guys, I'm bearing the lead. I raced at the track the last night of the velodrome. I can't even believe I forgot to mention this until this point.
Wow, you think that would have been the lead of the show, very last time that there's velodrome racing, and the fact that one of us actually did it.
We talked about it last week a little bit. Anyway, I did it.
Yeah.
I sucked, but it was a great night. Ton of people were out. A huge amount of fans. Not all the old guys, but so many of the people I haven't seen in 10 years or raced against in 10 years. It was great to see. Everybody kind of came out of retirement. Clean night of racing, no spills. It was nice. It was super emotional. It was sad. But it was really great. It was a really great community up there, and it was highlighted. It made me sad that I didn't get up as much, in the last 5-6 years, but life happens. But it was great. All the love for Bob everyone was showing. It was a really lovely night. So
yeah,
I'm
I
glad
saw a
made
bunch
it
of
one time.
pictures and a bunch of videos. It looked like it was a fun time. I'm happy that you got to go up there. Can't believe you waited this long to tell us how awesome it was on the final night of racing at the track. But what else can you expect from the Slow Ride podcast? One of us is still racing on
one
the
star,
velodrome, and it no longer exists. So,
oh, and everybody, I got some great deals on tubular wheels for the track. So anybody, just hit me up. Dude, I'll hook you up. I'll hook you up, and don't talk to anybody else. Just talk to me.
Got it.
if you want to find out where you can get your very own tubular track wheels, head us up on Twitter and Instagram at the Slow Ride Pod. We'd like to thank all of our listeners to the Slow Ride Podcast. Make sure you subscribe. Tell your friends about us on either Apple Podcasts or over at Google Play. We're also on Spotify. And you can email us at the Slow Ride Podcast at gmail.com. And with that, this is Tim in Orlando, Florida.
This is Matt. I don't think I forgot anything in Minneapolis.
And this is Spencer in Boston, Massachusetts, reminding you to always wave at all your fellow cyclists that you see out on the road.
The Slow Ride Podcast. Bikes, advice, and rumors straight from the source. TheSlowRidePodcast.com and on Twitter at The Slow Ride Pod.